right way to say it this time. Maybe. Still trying to learn the right way to say it. But anyway, another day, another smoothie. Actually, I have a lot of pomegranates, and I finally wanted to chop them up. Okay, but I also have my blender, and I also need some coffee because I really haven't ate anything today. I think I ate something at 3 in the morning because I could not sleep. It was another one of those nights, and some people, they believe in taking sleeping aids, but I don't do any of that. I just do my natural sleep cycle, and if I fall asleep, I fall asleep, and if I don't, I don't. And yeah, I just believe in being intuitive about a lot of things. Like a lot of people are like, you have to do this, this, and this. No, I'm just like, I don't do that. So I'm going to cut up pomegranates, and I'm going to eat some along the way. So let's start cutting some. Let's see. Oh man, this is always, I feel like we need your buffer. Well, just be careful. Try to be careful this time. Try to be much more precise. Here we go. Now it's all in. And I just rinse off the pomegranates with some water. These are organic ones. They're not from the store. Some people really I'm very picky. I'm like, look, relax. They taste better than the ones from the store. And people are like, oh my god, the ones from the store like more pretty. And I'm like, not really. Like, some of these look more pretty than others. I'm like, if you're such a snob that you need your food to look really, really pretty, the inside looks pretty, okay? I need a bowl, maybe. The inside is very beautiful. It's beautiful. It's going to be a messy pomegranate world in my life. You could paint. You could do makeup with pomegranate. It'll wash off with water. I'm not worried about bringing out. It's a joke. Really, it is. Relax. I kind of don't like the white stuff in to eat, or I try not eat the white part, but if I get some in, it's okay. I'm a messy pomegranate person. Because I used to sometimes get the white part in there, but I know people are like, but the seeds are bitter. I don't think the seeds are bitter. Like, to me, they taste good. Or hard. And I'm always trying to figure out, okay, what part of the pomegranate are you eating, buddy? Like, try not to maybe eat the white part. It's kind of bitter. I mean, is it? A little. It's a little bitter. I don't think the seeds are. I mean, it doesn't taste like milk chocolate, but they taste fine to me. I don't know, it's so yummy. Yeah, they're really healthy, but some people are like, oh, we don't like the seeds. And I'm like, what part of the pomegranate are you eating? I think I know what it is. They're consuming pomegranate juice only, which you're not getting most of the pomegranate. So that's what they think pomegranate is. And it's often mixed with other juices too. So, okay. That's what people want to do. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a little bit easier this time because this is a riper pomegranate. It's still going to get messy, buddies. Oh, no! Pomegranate overboard. Wipe down the floor later. Should I get him now? Get him before it's too late, maybe? All right, pomegranate into the sink. Okay. Okay. Some for me. Full. This one kind of cut better, actually. It wasn't quite as messy. Well, still messy, but maybe not as much. I sometimes peek behind the pithiness because there's more hiding back there that you have to get out. And I don't know why, but they remind me of corn. I know it's not corn, but it kind of, just the little seeds, they just have that look. They're a different species for sure, but they just kind of remind me of corn. So there was this orange field across from where we live that they cut down completely, and they built a VA hospital, and now, yeah, I kind of understood that, but now they're just building more houses. Which to me was kind of sad because I have these old orange trees, and yes, the oranges that it made were not as big, but apparently people in Asia still like small oranges. That was really tasty. Really, really tasty. Okay. It's going to get messier, 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 messier. A little bit of pomegranate. And taste coffee. That's very yummy. I don't know if you can see the blender, actually. Can't see me in the blender, can you? Yeah, you can. Okay, so I take turns. I put some in the blender as I go. Because mostly it gives some flavor to the smoothie, but I'm going to add other things to it later. And I put some in the bowl as I go. Just kind of, as I go, as I go, as I go. And I put the ones I... Usually I'll walk every little piece of trash to the trash as I go, but with something like a pomegranate, which is super messy, I'm going to put it in the sink. Because it's a lot easier to contain it that way. I think I need to get some little washcloths so I can rinse off my fingers and take sips of coffee as I'm going. I didn't really get started till noon today, by the way. It's noon. And I guess it's because, hey, yesterday I went to Walmart, okay? I went and got a couple things. But then on today, I'm like, I don't want to go anywhere and I don't want to do anything mode. Like, I truly just want to, be at home doing my little stuff. It's so delightful. So I've done some talking videos, but honestly, in general, it was just because I got some weird comments on a video Saturday night, and those people never came back. Like the guy that I thought might have been legitimate, he never came back. So I think my video was targeted by one of those they looked okay. Now most of our videos are captioned on YouTube, and I think spam bots just look for videos. But the YouTube system is getting better, detecting and deleting those comments. So I guess, oh gosh, the spam bots. And who's going to text somebody that they don't know, thinking that they're going to fix their love life? Does that really work? Does that really work? I think that's funny, because that's not even what the previous video was about. It was just about writing off bad experiences. And I guess the spam bots thought the video was about something else that it wasn't. So, I don't know. But then I have some dude coming along saying, I could read part of his comment. And I thought maybe it was a real comment. But I don't know. I think maybe he was a spam bot too, because I thought about it. It seemed like at first his comment was first. Yeah, at first I thought this guy named Baller. I want to say his name now because I don't think he's real. He never came back to say anything. I don't think he's real. I think him and the other like doctor guy, I think they were both a spam bot. It's pretty funny. And I thought, like, I made this video like legitimately thinking, oh, maybe somebody's comment had been deleted, but I don't think they were real. I think they were spam bots, and like I was replying, but the topic's still valid though. I mean, it's still a valid topic. I just thought I legitimately got a question that made an interesting kind of topic to discuss, but you know, personally, it doesn't really affect me because I don't really care about like people that have affairs and cheat, because it's not really a topic that's ever impacted my life. Like, I was just kind of sharing some of my experiences as an outside observer, you know, from things I've seen. I don't really care, honestly. Like, it's not something that I like. I mean, I don't know. It's just not something I've experienced personally. So I'm like, whatever. I don't really care. But the spam bots did. So yeah, I mean, I appreciate real comments, but those were not real people. They were just a spam bot. There are other videos where they show up though, where somebody's talking about like some sort of dating experience or something, and I see a lot of them talking to each other. It's interesting. Well, I guess YouTube's getting better at detecting the spam bots and keeping them off our chats. Their comments on. I don't know. So that's good. It's an improvement. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Look at that. It's so beautiful. That is so beautiful. This one is riper because I had let the last pomegranate kind of take a long time to sit there. No, I took a long time. It had nothing to do with the pomegranate. The pomegranate, this piece of fruit. It's up to you to cut it up. But look, I know it takes a little bit more work, but if you know somebody who has trees, yeah, it takes more work, but it's totally worth it because look how beautiful. And then I think, like, I've never tried pomegranate soup, but I think about all those, like, Middle Eastern dishes. Well, I think they're more like Persian, Iranian dishes. Pomegranate soup. It sounds very interesting. When I talked about it in that book I really liked by Marsha Miron, such a good writer. It's really sad what happened to her. She committed suicide. It was really sad. She was such a talented writer. It made me think, okay, I felt really sad, like, to hear that, because I was like, she's so talented. I thought somebody like her would just be so excited to have. I mean, she may not have been like as renowned as like Daniel Steele or something, but she had a big following, and I was kind of I will always stand up against bullying because I think, yeah, actually I have an update about some of that too. Because, you know, I'm involved in YouTube, and I just think that there are things on here that are bullying. Okay, some people do like legitimate videos where they're kind of just critiquing somebody from a certain viewpoint, but they keep it, I mean, they're more classy about it. Some vegans do it, and then there's like the omnivore dietitian Amy Sharp who does it. But when they're doing it, it's more just like they're like there's concerns about things they see in a video. They're not poking fun at, like, say somebody has sunken eyes and they look like Skeletor. And then, okay, this one channel that I thought was problematic, my friend said just don't look at it, and she's absolutely right. They were comparing somebody to somebody from Auschwitz. It was getting kind of like the comparisons were getting kind of nasty, in my opinion, and just rude. And I don't think somebody that's on the internet, just like, you might not agree with their lifestyle, but I just didn't think that was right. So, like, there was a guy I was kind of talking to, and I said, you know, at the end of the day, you're kind of being a bully. And he goes, well, it's worth it. This is what he told me. I said, I'm just not, I told him, okay, I'll just ignore what you guys talk about on this channel. I don't know why I got involved. But I am going to, in my own channel, I'm going to talk about why I think bullying is right. He said, well, if you say it's bullying, it's worth it because we get people away from like doing this and this. And I'm like, is that your job? Like to get people away from doing certain things? But I also was thinking too about that. I'm like, okay, so you have this person, he doesn't have his own like YouTube channel. Like he supposedly believes that, that eating a certain way is superior, but instead of like just making videos where he could share that, he doesn't want to do that. He just wants to piggyback off somebody making like a tabloid channel. It's kind of weird. I don't know. And that's another thing too that I don't like about bullying is like very quickly you get like this kind of pack mentality surrounding it. Like people, like somebody will start bullying people and say, oh, I'm not doing it to bully. I'm just kind of doing it to like, get views and help people and like, but they're not because they're like attacking their, and it's other topics too, but really those are not helpful videos in my opinion. But I'll just speak out against bullying on my own channel. I'm not going to try and rationalize with those people because they think what they're doing is okay. They straight up said it doesn't matter if they hurt somebody's feelings because they're right. And whatever it takes to shock somebody into doing what they think is right. It's kind of weird though. Bullying is not right. I don't care. That's actually something a narcissist would say too when you think about it. I'm right. You should do what I say. Everything I do is the best. But if they're so right, why don't they just make a video about, I don't know, like there's another lady on YouTube. I don't agree like with everything she eats, but she's very sweet. And she just makes videos about how she likes the keto diet. Obviously, I'm not keto, but I'll sometimes occasionally watch one of her videos because she has a nice personality and she's not like attacking people. And one thing I thought was kind of cool about her was she was saying how even though she is keto, like she has found dairy isn't good for her stomach, which is something like a lot of people now are like saying, oh my God, you must have dairy, but like a lot of people have lactose intolerance. So she was just saying that she finds if she makes coffee with non-dairy milk, like it works better for her. And I was like, you know what? We're not all the same. So if you want to eat, like, look, I love pomegranates. And I honestly came back to the point that I just love fruit. And I'm kind of like, it's not that I'm eating fruit 24/7, but I actually feel better when I do eat fruit. And I just got in this rut for a while where I thought, well, I should be more savory. I shouldn't be doing smoothies anymore. But I actually think when I eat fruit or just make a smoothie, like it works for me. As long as I don't get pomegranate on myself. It works for me. If it doesn't work for you, I'm not going to make you do it. Like, I'm not going to, like, I just happen to think, like, look how beautiful this pomegranate is. Like, you don't have to eat it. I'm an idiot, okay? Just saying. Anyway, so that's my thought on the bullying thing. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be in any arena, really. And there is something called adult bullying. Like, I know people think only schoolyard kids bully, but adults do it too. Like, there's a lot of forms of bullying. And sometimes it can be under the guise of somebody wanting to help someone. And it's not. And they don't want to, like, the bullies don't want people to speak out about it. In fact, because they'll keep saying, oh, it's all the classic narcissists. I think, I'm not saying all narcissists, all bullies are narcissists, but a lot of them actually are. Because they use a lot of the tactics that Dr. Romney talks about where they try to make people think that they're not doing the right thing, and they're kind of using narcissistic supply to praise somebody who, I don't know, does what they want to do. And it's weird, like, but adult bullying is a thing. I know people think it's not, but it's any time when somebody tells you that, oh, I know you don't worry about what other people think, but what other people think really matters. Actually, can I be honest with you? It doesn't in general. Like, I mean, to your family and friends, you should be a good person. But no, you shouldn't just worry about fickle pickle. Like, this is another thing. Okay, so a lot of people are very upset right now. They're like, but celebrities, like, they get lots of plastic surgery and they do this and that and they do all these things to look a certain way. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I've never really followed like celebrities to that extent, Hi, how you doing? Like, I've never like I always kind of knew that they were doing those things, and people are mad. They're like, oh my god, like they sell us things like they pretend that using an olive oil lotion or some sort of like melon lotion sponsored by some guy who grew up in Algeria, like Dr. Sabag or something, like that it's gonna cure all your wrinkles and your acne. But no, it's not. Of course they do procedures and they get things done. And like, to me, like, okay, stop consuming that content. Like, to me, it was never a problem, really. I think you can be on social media without looking at it, because I was never really that interested. Like, I like some shows. Like, right now, I'm interested in Magnificent Century, and I'll watch it occasionally. But like, I've seen a couple things where they showed like what some of the actors were doing, but I wasn't like obsessed with it. I mean, some of them are attractive, but at the end of the day, I'm like, yes, they're celebrities. They have access to certain things that we don't. But you know, you can still look good at any age. And like, you know, I think you just have to change your mindset about what looking good is. If it's a Hollywood or I don't know, whatever like group of people, like dynamic, where they say this is what you need to do. Well, if you don't want to be in the movies and you're not really following that, I don't really care what celebrities do or what they think is trendy and fashionable. It's not on my radar, so I've never really consumed it because I didn't think they were that interesting. I like some movies, okay? It probably is. I just never looked into it. I'm sure it is. So those are just my thoughts on celebrities. I don't hate celebrities. I like some movies occasionally. I just don't like look up a lot of things that celebrities are doing because in general, I don't think they're that interesting, and I'm not really worried if they get like some sort of sponsorship deal. And I'm okay. I'll tell you the truth about the whole thing about people getting upset about it. In this case, like what I just think is kind of silly is that, well, yeah, celebrities get like sponsorships. I don't know. Like, I thought people always knew that. Like, I thought people always knew that's what magazine ads were. Like, really. Or like any kind of commercial. Didn't you know? I mean, since like the 1920s when you started having stars on the silver screen, and even farther back in different ways, you've always had a celebrity that was sponsored by something. So I don't know why people are surprised that Jennifer Lopez doesn't use like a certain olive oil lotion to look the way that she does, and that she uses trainers and filters. Like, okay. A lot of people do. Honestly, the whole filters thing, though. If you're upset about the filters on Instagram, just don't use them. I don't, like, okay, I'm a normal person. Like, I don't, like, sometimes I'll use different exposures on a photo, like, for an artistic effect, but I don't use, like, Facetune. I don't use filters. I don't use anything like that because, like, I'm like, why? What's the point? I think like that can kind of tie into bullying. Not that the celebrities are bullying people, because usually most of them aren't. But I do get that people start feeling bad about themselves because they're comparing themselves to celebrities. Just stop doing that. Like, you can be on social media, like people say social media is unhealthy. But I don't know. I never used it for the reasons that other people, like I used it to look up things about history, about culture, things that were interesting to me, like to learn new things. I didn't use it like to keep up with whatever the Kardashians, like I don't even know, like, okay, somebody was saying the other day, like, oh, look at like these people that are charlatans that are promoting this and this. And I'm like, well, I don't even know who those people are, because I don't, like, even though I did start using TikTok like a year ago, I don't look at what's the trending pages. Like, I just follow a few topics that I like, and I look at a few things that I think are interesting. I don't have like a scrolling addiction problem. Like, people keep saying, you're going to get so addicted to like scrolling. And I understand some people might, but I also think you kind of have to like just know what your expectation is. Because I think the same thing could happen with television too, or any kind of like activity that's not the most enriching. Like, But I don't know. I kind of have like a good experience with Instagram or TikTok. I don't have these issues. I understand that other people do, though. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm just. It's really good. I'm not saying it's not real. I do understand it's a real problem for some people. I guess just for me, it was never a problem because, like, I just have a different mindset in the way I look at it. And I think a lot of it just has to do with the way I was raised. So, like, when I was growing up, like, we would see movies occasionally, but we also read books. We didn't, like, I don't know. We didn't watch, like, all the celebrity gossip shows. And my mom was like, let's garden, or let's go for a hike, or let's go look at something in nature. And, like, she sends me pictures of flowers and her cat. And those are the kind of things we're interested in. We don't really care, like, what Jennifer Lopez is using as a face lotion. So it wasn't on our radar. And I'm not, like, look, if those things are important to you, that's great. They're just not important to me. So I don't really care. Just at the end of the day, I don't care about stuff like that because it's not on my radar. And I like fashion, but I just kind of, what I do when it comes to fashion is I like long hair, and I like dresses and skirts, and I just look at things that I like. And a lot of things that I like fashionable wise, they're things I want to wear like forever. Like if I buy something, I will wear it out. Like if I buy something, I like, even, I know some people like, even if it's kind of like fast fashion, so to speak, I will wear that for years. Okay. I will wear that item, and I wash things on Gentle, and I know how to repair my own clothes to some extent. I still would like to learn how to use a sewing machine. I never did that. You know, I mean, I ended up eating just more of them than actually putting in the smoothie. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just don't, like, I'm not too worried about what celebrities are doing. I still like shows, though. I'm not anti-shows. Like, I've seen some Korean shows. I'd like to crash landing on you, and I've watched some of the Turkish shows, but even after that, I just kind of reached like a point that, you know, I've seen enough of it. I don't want to keep watching it after a certain point. I just sometimes I move on to doing different things. Like I want to paint eventually next week. I was going to do it this week, but I'm doing some organization projects, and I want to wash my hair because, you know, as I talk about on my other channel, like washing my hair is kind of a big thing for me because I just rinse it out like a little bit in the shower, but I don't wash my hair as much as some people do. I used to wash my hair once a week only, okay? Maybe every other day at one time, but I was just for a short period of time when I was kind of trying out things other people were doing. When I was young, it was just once a week. I'm not like a big hair, like, to me with my hair type, it would dry out my hair to wash it too much. Just my feeling, you know? Well, I don't think anybody should. I think what it is at the end of the day, you have to find like happiness, and also too is maybe like instead of just always be worried about what other people are doing, like if you're of that mindset, you could just go help other people or something too. Like there's other ways to fulfill your time. So I don't like some of the things that I just see pop up on social media. I'm not saying that those aren't real struggles. Yeah, I'm just myself, and I think everybody can be natural too. I think, you know what makes the big difference though? Like, okay, and I actually kind of feel like this is my contribution to society was I had a mom who just taught me all that. So it was so natural. So I can kind of share that with some people that maybe they're struggling somewhere in their life. And I can just say, be yourself, be happy with yourself. It doesn't truly matter what people think. Like, okay, you don't want to be mean to your friends and family. Yes. And you want to be kind to other people. You don't want to be a cruel person. Like those are things you never should do. But in general, just like the fickle things, like the fleeting things, worrying about like everybody's like wavering opinion on every other thing. And that's where the bullying comes in. Because yes, I've had like somebody like try to tell me, well, I know you don't worry about what people think, but it does matter. And I was like, no, actually it doesn't. And that was the point where he just didn't like that I don't agree with him, and I don't. And I think, to me, like, I just don't know why he cares. He says that he is so independent-minded, but he cares a lot about what other people think. Like, it's just interesting. I'm like, I don't get it. Like, he cares so much about what other people think. Like, he would say that he didn't, but at the end of the day, I was like, at the time, I was kind of, like, annoyed by it. I was like, why are you trying to push that on me? But I realized it was more about him than me. And that's another thing that I think will kind of help you get over, like, anything that feels bullying at any age. Like, okay, let's say just anybody, they try and tell you that the way you do something isn't good enough, or that other people don't like that. And it's something petty. It's just like, it's based on a petty thing. Like, I don't know, like, oh, are you socially, like, fun, or just something really petty. Okay, very petty thing. And they're so worried about, like, what other people think. I'm just like, that's more about them than you. And I think that's what a lot of bullying is. And it does come down to either you're a narcissist, or you're just kind of a poser, or you're an enabler. Like, it's a lot of different things. But honestly, we just don't have time for that all that. Like, what else is going on in the world? Well, a lot of things. And the more things change, the more they stay the same. Isn't that true? It's just interesting times. And yeah, I still will read some news articles, but I don't spend like every waking minute like following everything that's going on in the news, if that makes any sense. It's just my take on it, for me. But you do you. If you want to be a news junkie, I'm not going to keep you from it. I just find that I don't have time. Okay, so some people were saying, oh my gosh, like, people don't know, like, all these different people in America, they don't know about these different cultures. And I'm like, okay, but do you know about, like, Japanese culture? Do you know about Chinese culture? Do you know about Turkish culture? Do you know about South African culture? Like, okay, if you want to learn about other things or other people, do it. Like, I don't expect, like, the educational system to teach me those things either, because everything I wanted to learn when I was younger, like when I learned about, Mutiny on the Bounty, Pitcairn Island, like, the things that are big in British history, British naval history, really, I learned about those things through my own reading. Like, an American school teacher is definitely not going to teach you about those things. So I feel like if there are certain things you have to learn in school, those are the minimum things. But the great thing about reading is you can pick a topic, and if you're interested in that topic, you can read about it on your own, and you can learn on your own. And people do it all the time, because once school is over, like, are you going to stop learning or something? Are you going to stop reading? Some people do. Some people stop reading when they leave school, and I'm like, really? It's just so, I don't get it. And there are people that claim that they're very well learned, but they don't read books, and I'm like, or they don't read articles. I mean, nowadays you can go online and even read an article, but these are people that don't read anything, and they're like, oh, I just like maybe listen to an occasional podcast or something. I'm like, well, maybe you should read some things on your own once in a while, because podcasts can be very interesting. They can, but why aren't you ever reading anything? Like, really? You don't have any interest outside of maybe, like, okay, they'll do the bare minimum reading for their job or something, but I just don't understand that. As somebody who, like, I was a voracious reader. Like, even up until a few years ago, I was reading, like, all the time. I still read, but I was kind of shifted over to reading more historical texts because my degree was in history, and I read articles. I kind of read less fiction these days, just because I read some really good fiction. Like, there's some authors I really love, like Celestine Viate, Marcia Miron, just some really good, like, authors, and they wrote stories that really touched me. But then I even like some of Lisa C's novels, but it was going so far off the deep end, like some of the things that the characters were doing, like Dreams of Joy, and just how far it went. And then I found out that her publisher wanted her to write a sequel, so that was the reason for it, whereas she kind of wanted to keep it as Shanghai Girls. It just kind of got me out of being as excited about historical fiction, because that was the kind of fiction I would read. I would read some fun, fiction, romancy stuff too, like, just stories about people as well. But it would usually be like a historical context that would get me hooked in. But I just kind of got to the point, I'm like, I don't know. I just kind of prefer reading the historical text more. So that's kind of what I do more. You can kind of hear the pomegranate opening when you do this. It is a process. Yeah, I don't think I'd eat that rindy part. It's kind of bitter. Give the smoothie a few. Give the bowl a few, because I want some just to be pretty in the bowl. I'm going to take out that white part. And I'm not in a rush to do it. I just do it. Take my time. That's how I used to be when I did food prep. Like, I would just cut things at my own pace. I wasn't like some people, they're just like, oh my God, I have to hurry. I have to get done as fast as possible. I don't. Like, I want to enjoy, like, doing something. And that's why sometimes it'll be hard for me to get back into the kitchen. Because, like, I don't know. I don't like feeling rushed at anything I do. I just really hate it. And then to me, it's not enjoyable anymore. But that's just my take on it. Gosh, this makes your hands so red. It's so beautiful. It's kind of beautiful, really. Like, to me, it's just fun. I think the last time I did it, I was less in the zone. Like, today I'm really in the zone to do this. It was like a mood. And I do like the food prep. I want to do it like when I feel like in the mood to do it. Like, I love food prepping, but I just don't like this whole idea that you need to rush or it has to be planned ahead. It just like, it takes the fun out of it. Like, I want it to be fun. To me, it needs to be fun. And this is fun, like hunting for pomegranate seeds. I feel like I'm on a treasure hunt because they're so beautiful. It's fun. And they are so beautiful. I'm doing several of them right now, as you can see. I still have a lot more that I could do. But I kind of think after 4, that's going to be enough. And then I'm going to have to wipe off Mr. Blender again. And take off my fingers. So, I got us like a sponsorship like offer. And I replied to it, but I didn't hear back. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. They were like, oh, do you want a blender? And I'm like, yeah, I would like to try your blender. Send it to me. I didn't hear back, so I think that one. So yesterday, I did a video where we just talked about a few of the sponsorships we've gotten. I've had a few, but I haven't gotten a lot. But do you know what I thought was funny was after you kind of look something up or you watch something, YouTube will just recommend more videos. And then what's funny, like there's kind of this funny lady. She's from Canada. She was talking about different things on social media where people were asking like for free stuff. I don't even know that was a thing. I thought like you just waited to see if like a company got back to you. But apparently like a lot of people ask for their social media if they can get free lunches or like, they just ask for free stuff like all the time. And I didn't know that was a thing. Well, it's kind of an embarrassing thing. But I wonder, I mean, I know like people, just like with celebrities, sometimes they get free stuff and there's nothing wrong with certain free things. Like certain products, I'm like, are great. I'm going to go put these in the washing machine. They're getting too pomegranate. certain things for sponsorship are nice, like, but I just was surprised that people ask for free stuff. I didn't know. But it was kind of funny. I was like, okay, that's news to me. I did not know people did that. Mm. I think my phone might be ringing. Okay, we'll check my little phone. Okay, I guess my phone wasn't ringing. I guess it was okay. Okay, so I think what I want to try is see if I can just pull it, like prise it apart a little bit without having to cut it. They grow them like these little stuff. Pomegranate. That's the only thing when you start pulling them out. Sometimes a few errant pomegranates go rolling, but this is a more controlled way of doing it than like too much cutting, because I think if maybe you center cut it and then you just kind of pull them out like that, then you can go hunting for any like errant pomegranate seeds. You can pretty much get most of them out of the white thing. That one had a lot of pith to it. Yum, 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 yum. It's so good. So I'm trying to change my taste buds again too, because I think this is what happens. I'm not trying to say that processed foods are the devil. I'm not saying that. I mean, I get it. Like, I like to bake too, but I was kind of thinking, what can I do to get out of that, like, wanting to bake and eat a lot of baked goods, like, modality, and just get back into, if you're going to eat sweet, eat fruit. And all of a sudden, like, you crave fruit so much more, and, like, you start wanting to eat fruit again. And people are like, but no, you'll want chocolate. And I'm like, actually, the more you eat fruit, like, and I was like, I fell off this train for a little bit, like not making enough like smoothie type things or just eating fruit. But the more I want to get back on it, like the more I'm just craving just fruit again, just like plain old fruit. Like fruit is good. And if you don't want fruit that's overly sweet, I think a pomegranate is really good. But I don't think pomegranates taste bitter to me. I just don't get it. People keep saying they're bitter, but I detect a sweetness to them. I think they're just not as sweet. Like, and I can put some other fruit in with my smoothies to kind of give it interesting flavor. But I'm also making a bowl of pomegranate seeds too. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. It's like hunting for pomegranates. Gotta be careful when you hunt for your pomegranates though. Mm-hmm. It's tasty. It's a tasty hunt. And the cool thing is later, once they're all cut up, you can be like, oh, I don't want that little white piece in there. I can get rid of you. And this white part, it reminds me of like a corn cob. I know it's not, but just the way that the pomegranates are kind of shaped. Like they're just, I guess I'm the only one that thinks that. Like, I don't know why I feel that way. And then there's certain corn varieties, like, popcorn varieties that have like glass popcorn. Really pretty corn. Corn is kind of hard to grow though. It's a hard crop to grow because my mom, a few years ago when I was younger, many, many years ago actually, she tried to grow some corn and it was just a more difficult plant to propagate and to grow. And it didn't yield a lot for all the work that they put into it. So it was the best corn I ever had in my entire life. It was it was so good. I'm like, this is like the best corn I've ever had. But then she's like, it was a lot of work. And it just and occasionally, like, I don't even like to buy corn that often. Not that I think corn is bad or anything. It's not like a vegetable that I love. But occasionally, if I find an organic head of sweet corn, that I like. So corn kind of have a sweetness, even though maybe that's there's certain similarities. They're different species for sure, but corn and pomegranate kind of remind me of each other in a way. But I don't think anybody else makes that connection between them. I'll just do. And then as you're picking them up, just make sure you don't get any of the white pithiness. Like, you can make sure you keep that part out. And I think another key to having less mess with the pomegranate is not going too fast, because it's going to be messy no matter what. But the more you control it, I feel like less mess, And even though the phone is like is much more clear for live streaming, I kind of just like the laptop because I can actually see. It could be. I mean, I don't know. Like, I know that pomegranate and corn are not the same species, but I don't know. They're just so good. Homegrown stuff is just so delicious, though. Like, even tomatoes. Like, even if you buy organic tomatoes, like, they're just never the same. Apples, they're just never the same. Like, they're just so good. Like, the homegrown variety, and it's so rare, but like their rareness, and I think that's why people just really like. I get the idea of like eating seasonal. Well, if you want to eat seasonal, these pomegranates here in Southern California are very seasonal, and I guess persimmons too. Although nobody brought us persimmons this year yet, but you can go in cycles. There's also like a lime, but I'm not going to put that in the smoothie. No, I like lime though, but I was thinking making avocado type salad dressing with it. Oh no. This one looks sad. I think that one might not be a good person. Oh my goodness. Let me look on the other side. See how far. Yeah. This one's a bad one, guys. I'm not. Yeah, this one went off. Too bad. So sad. That pomegranate is moldy. That's a moldy one. Oh gosh. Okay, so let's rinse our cutting board a little bit. Do some rinsing. So kind of rinse things up a little bit. It's gonna still be red though. Like when you're cutting pomegranates, that red color's not completely gonna go away, but I just want to get anything that might have been moldy off the cutting board, so I'll rinse it in hot water. I know. Well, I was hoping they would all be good. I mean, they're organic. They're off somebody's tree, okay, that doesn't eat pomegranate. So that one's sad. I have more, though, over here. Look. Like, there's more. There's more friends that can join the party if I want to get another one. There are more. But that one wasn't a good pomegranate, which surprised me because, okay, that one looked intact. So I thought, well, maybe that one's going to be okay. It's funny because it seems like the ones that people kind of are, like that some people don't like the ones with the splits in them, but those seem to be the ones. Like I don't claim to be. I'll have to look it up later and see. But these so far seem to be the ones that are okay. And when I open this one's just super ripe. Like, get it on me. Okay, get it on me. Oh my gosh. Hope not. Don't invite anybody over to see your floor when you're cutting up pomegranates. This is getting kind of messy down there. I have to wipe the floor down later. Yeah, it looks good. I just wanted to make sure it doesn't get messy. That's kind of my worry. You know, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to make a mess. This one's a perfect. I mean, it's not too bad. I'm just trying to control it as much as I can so I don't have to do more cleaning than I have to. So seems like the trick is you kind of want to, like, just if you can peel them a little bit, like you cut them a bit and then you can peel them like this and get them out of their. Seems to be the trick. I kind of wonder if I should cut them all up today in case they'll go bad later. Like, I wonder if I should do more. Like, I kind of thinking, should I? Because I only wanted to do 3 or 4, but they might all go off if I don't. Majority coffee, please. I stopped getting sweetened almond milk. Like I'm back to the coconut almond mix one that's unsweetened, and it's so much better. Because that's all I ever used to put in my coffee. And that's another thing too. Like I'm trying to like slowly cut back on things that might have sugar in them. And little insidious things that I think kind of built up over time. And I always like the more bitter flavor of coffee coming through. So I was like, I don't know why I started drinking the sweetened almond milk. And like, I just kind of started doing it. But oh no, don't get on me. Don't get on me. Oh. I might have to do a baby wipe the size of the camera. Parent pomegranate seeds. Errant ones. The centers of the pomegranate. Oh my gosh, they're so good. They're really good. So I sometimes like to just do it, but wipey wipe the water to just kind of clean up the area. And then when one washcloth is getting too pomegranate invested, and then I'm like, he's gonna go be in the washing machine. Isn't that fun? You know, another tip is I do have paper towels, but I don't go through too many of them because I just use them to wipe up really like dirty things or like random things like hair or something. Like it's things like that. So one thing I found is if you just use washcloths and you wash them in the dryer, it's really good way to clean your house and you can reuse them. Yay! Wipe some pomegranate off the floor as I go. Put that there, put that in the washer. Okay. Back for more pomegranate action. Okay. Maybe before we open more, we want to get rid of or process the ones. Also with fruit, like I don't worry about refrigerating it after I open it too quickly. Like later I will, but I don't know. I never get sick, but you can. I mean, you can stick it in the fridge right away if you're worried about that sort of thing. But that's actually one of the pluses of not eating meat or dairy anymore is like, I don't know. I haven't had food poisoning in a long time. I mean, I didn't get it too often before that. But I remember getting it back in 2012. And it was after some chicken I ate. So I'm like not anti, like whatever you want to eat meat, I don't care. I just don't. There's a lot of things about it I don't like personally. I don't like it. I don't want to eat meat. Bits in there. I have a few get in there. It's no biggie, but I've been trying to make it so they don't, like, because I just kind of think those parts are a little bit more bitter. People are like, but aren't the seeds hard? I'm eating the pomegranate seeds constantly during this video and other videos and videos I made where I cut up pomegranates and I ate smoothies. I'm still trying to figure out like what people are talking about. Like, oh my God, but you eat sunflower seeds, okay? Pomegranate seeds aren't that hard. Like, look. There's a little bit of a bite to it, but it's not that hard. Like, really? A little bit, but it's not like eating sunflower seeds are harder. I mean, I don't really understand like what it is that people are so worried about when it comes to eating pomegranate seeds. Mmm. Mmm. Yum, 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 yum. I kind of like the ones. Oh gosh. Yeah. So good. Mm-hmm. Mmm. Yum, yum, yum. Yeah. Making a mess. Trying to get you out. Trying to get you out. Back in the day, when my sister used to live with me, she just loved pomegranate seeds. Hmm. And her favorite way was to eat them, but she thought they were magical because I don't take it out of the pomegranates for her. Hi, how you doing? Well, you should eat some pomegranates. You see, it'll make you feel better. Pomegranates solve all the world's problems. Well, maybe not all the world's problems, but they'll solve some of your problems for a bit. They say idle hands are the devil's workshop. So whatever you call it, Satan, Shaitan, I don't know, whatever you call it. Get busy cutting up some pomegranates. It'll keep you busy. It'll keep you occupied. Keep you out of trouble. Not that I ever get in trouble, because I don't. People would always tell me, stay out of trouble. I'm like, I don't get in trouble. But if you feel like you need some better activities for your life, I'll tell you, cutting up a pomegranate will keep you occupied for a little bit. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Very yummy indeed. Kind of want to take a picture of it. Push this one out. I think like I have a technique. It kind of works for me. Like you just you have to cut it, of course, but like once you've cut it, you can kind of take sections. You're able to like take it off like the skin, and it comes in little. I don't know. I feel like I'm finding a better technique for doing it lately. Sometimes I have to go deep in there because there can be pomegranates hiding in the back. You want to kind of get in there and get everything out. Clean it out as best as possible because there's always one, two. I cleaned that one out pretty good. And I love the feeling of pomegranate. I hope you have a wonderful day, Casey. Have a good day, okay? Bye. And I hope you have a nice day, amazing world. I hope you're doing good. And everybody's. I keep feeling like I hear my phone buzzing. I think I need to turn the volume up on my phone so I hear it ring. Sometimes I miss calls because I don't want it to buzz when I'm places. So just so I'm not like, usually people don't call me, but I'm afraid they're always going to call me like when I'm doing a live stream. And then it might be an important call because that seems to be the way the cookie crumbles once in a while. See any missed calls? No. We'll switch our sound on so we don't miss it. I'll hear it if it rings. Okay, so I don't know if this applies to like outside the US, and I think it might just apply maybe to the US and Canada, maybe the UK, I don't know. But have you checked out the Ibotta app? And eventually I do want to make a video about both Ibotta and Go Fetch Rewards, but I'm waiting to do it until I cash out. But like I said, there were some things that I got that were free from my sister the other day that I don't eat, but I just bought them for her because it ended up like the grocery shopping trip ended up being pretty free, like some of the products, you know. And there were some products, I mean, a lot of it is more processed stuff, but if it just happens that you like those things, you could save money on it. Or I've been noticing now there's some name brand stuff where you can get a coupon. I think it's kind of like promotions trying to get the public to try certain new products, or it sometimes seems like certain products didn't sell very well, like certain things I would not buy. But what I do like about the Ibotta app is occasionally there might be one or two things you're going to buy anyway. And if they happen to be having a promotion that day where you get like, I don't know, a couple dollars back. One time I ended up getting 8. That was a lot. But I just ended up getting several vegan things that I liked. Do I want to do another pommy? I think I want to take a picture of this one first. It's so pretty. I don't want a pomegranate all over my skin. Let's see. Just trying to wipe things up a little bit. Drink a little bit of coffee. And then we'll take a picture of the pomegranate. Why not? It's fun. Pomegranates are fun to photograph. It's kind of fun. Okay, so I relent. I kind of think I'm gonna add another pomegranate to our chopping schedule. Like another one is coming out. I think this bowl of pomegranate wipe them off so it's not messy for later. Presentable. Stick him in the fridge. Now I'm going to start another pomegranate. Okay. Yum, 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 yum. Probably end up consuming some of the smoothie tomorrow since I'm having so many pomegranates right now. is shutting down. No. I thought I had it plugged in. Okay. I need to do some of that. Okay. Go get. I thought I had you plugged in, mister. Apparently I did not. I think I have some pomegranate. Oh my. Yeah. I think that's why I changed to a top that kind of has a pomegranate shade to it. So if I did get a little bit of pomegranate on me, oh my wordy birdie. And we're going to have to clean the wall when we're done too. Because I see already. In the world of the pomegranate, you kind of have to clean your wall as you go. Oh my word, really? Are you kidding me? Really? Silly pomegranates. That one pretty much. Just pull the white part off here. Oh my god.
sounds kind of ASMR-y, like when you hear. Oh no, I don't want it to get on me. I hate that. Okay. What more do I have over there? Pomegranate world. I have like a few more that I could do on a different day, I think, right? Maybe spread it out. Because I like making pomegranates, but they're kind of messy and they taste yummy, but I don't want to prep that many today. Do I? I don't know. I can think about it. It's getting kind of messy over here. Have to do a lot of cleaning later. Okay. All right. Okay, bees. I think it's time to do some cleaning before I puree them into a smoothie. The remainder of them. Big bulk of them. This one's really good. Okay, pomegranates versus cranberries. You know what? Pomegranate. It's better than cranberry, I think. And I mean, I've never tried this because I actually just think that pomegranates are delightful either plain as seeds or as a smoothie. But let's say you had a pomegranate tree. What if you tried making like a pomegranate like sauce instead of cranberry sauce? That might be kind of awesome. You know, I have ate a lot of them today because I'll show you what I did. I made a bowl earlier, so I've been eating, like I ate some of them, but there's a lot of them. So I'm just going to make like part of it as a smoothie too. Because I have a bowl of them, and then I have these, and then I have more. Ooh, pretty. Because let's see. So I have a bowl of them, and then I actually have even more, like 5 more that I can cut up later. So yeah, I have some in a bowl that I'm going to eat. And then I've been eating them as I cut them up. But I kind of like, okay, I'll show you what I like to do with the pomegranate. Yeah, eating that's actually my one sister. She loved it. She thought it was so magical. She thought they magically ended up in the bowl like that. But I'm gonna have to get the Swiffer and a washcloth to like wipe off the ceiling. Like, I mean, when she used to be, she'd be like, "Oh, thanks for the pomegranate seeds. It's so magical." And I'm like, not really magical because I they're good like that. They definitely are. So I have like a big thing of grapes, and I have these I can snack on too. So I have it both ways. But oh, okay. Let's see, Mister. Like it's kind of more of a chunky smoothie, I feel like. But this. I kind of like it like that. Pretty. Oh. This is better than pomegranate juice, in my opinion. I have that one for later. I'm going to taste what it looks like. Let's see what it tastes like. Very pomegranate. So you can live in the fridge for later. And And then, oh my god, I have a lot of messes to clean up. And then maybe this will cut. Clean up this one. Ooh, thank you, mister. Oh. I don't know if people who like pomegranate juice would like it though, because there's no sugar in it. It's actually pretty good. It's a little tart. Okay, so I kind of want to make something else later, but that was my big adventure with the pomegranate. I thought I'd cut more, but already I'm like, oh, what can you do? Do I even have a Swiffer? I'm not sure. I thought I did, but I kind of realized I don't. So I think I need to buy a new broom because I just have a hand broom, so I can get up there. But the other ones, I can be like, and I was trying to be super careful, but like some of it got up there. And then I noticed some of it's like this, so you just kind of. And it's kind of like the dentist's office when they would make kids eat those tablets. That's what I think about. They're like, okay, well, do you want to have your dental appointment? I'm just kidding, guys. Don't be upset about my weird sense of humor. Kind of want a little bit everywhere. And that, my friends, is why I think people are too lazy to cut up pomegranates. Oh, the phone's ringing. Let's see. Anyway, I don't think it's anybody important, but we'll see. Bye. I'll have to call him back in a few minutes. I don't see the stop button. Where's the end button? Bye.